New on Curiosity Stream.
With my infrared drone, I can see what others can't.
Drone pilot Doug Thron uses his bird's eye view for the ultimate good, saving animals from desperate situations around the globe. Join the rescue effort on a new season of Doug to the Rescue. And
You captured a Confederate steamboat?
We're taking the ship to freedom.
an enslaved crew, a stolen vessel, and a Civil War dash to salvation on impossible escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
After 2 long years, Pain in the Grass is back. Yay! BJ and Miggs will have all the details for you tomorrow morning, 9:15.
Yes, indeed.
It's been 2 years.
I know.
God, man.
It's weird, man.
We've been living in a cave for 2 years, haven't we? Time to break out.
Mm-hmm.
Announcement tomorrow morning at 9:15. And I'm sure that'll be some good news.
Oh, yeah.
I went and saw a show last week, yeah.
Well, Paul McCartney, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's just great to be out.
What did you think of Climate Pledge?
I thought it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I told you. Like, from the outside,
Beautiful.
you can't really tell, but once you walk in, you're like, yeah.
This is not the Key Arena I know.
Not at all, man. You can spend the night there. It's nicer than half the goddamn hotels I stay in.
It's fantastic. Great show, too. The sound in that venue is amazing.
That's what blew my mind.
I could not believe how not that there was, Key Arena was never bad that way. I just couldn't believe how clear.
It wasn't terrible, but
this is like state-of-the-art stuff.
it really is. We saw, Foo Fighters there, and they were a loud-ass band, so if any band's going to kind of ruin your system, so to speak, this would be the band. We could not believe
That was the first one. It wasn't like they even needed to do anything.
No, they had not tweaked it yet.
Right.
The Foo Fighters, that was the first show, and when we left, aside from the fact that it was a great show, and they played for like 3 hours, man, but the sound was crystal clear.
Yeah, it's a great time. 9:15 tomorrow. All the details on Pain in the Grass with BJ.
Random.
Meantime, it is our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Cheyenne, welcome to the show. Random question. Okay. You're kind of a homebody. What time do you typically eat dinner?
Probably around, I'd say 7 o'clock or so.
All right. That's not bad.
Is that not bad? I always feel like, that's about the time I eat, but it's just the condition of doing the happy hours or here a little later, get home, deal with the kids for a second, then eat dinner. And I always feel bad because I'm like, am I holding up everyone else's dinner? I feel like when I was growing up, man, by like 5:30, you were sitting down.
Well, it takes a little time to decompress, too. I just don't walk in the door from work and I'm like, I'm hungry right now. I
don't either, but I don't get that choice.
Bit.
You know, that's the thing.
That's the difference.
Because when you have the kids at home and they're kind of waiting on you, it's like, yeah, I would like to decompress, but it's just not going to happen.
I've had this argument with any girl I seriously dated.
What's that? Just give me a minute.
Well, because I don't, like, generally, right, like, by the time I get home and stuff, I'm with Miles. I want to chill out for a minute. So I don't usually eat till, like, 8. Mm-hmm. And then they're always like, well, I'm hungry. And I'm like, we can't keep doing this. So either eat a snack or eat without me. I don't care.
It's fine. We're just telling you it is okay to eat without. We are not here to hold you up. It's like, just eat, man. If you're hungry, it's all right. I would do it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cheyenne, do you typically cook every night or do you do a little takeout?
It kind of depends. Like tonight, I'm doing, pretty quick, doing a frozen pizza. So.
Well, where you live, how many options do you have? So if you want to get a pizza, how many chains are there? Or how many places?
Typically as much as you'd find anywhere else. There's your Domino's, there's your Pizza Hut, there's an old Chicago pizza. That's a restaurant chain
that's fine.
So it's not too bad.
What food can you not find there? I mean, like if you wanted sushi, I'm guessing it's pretty dry, right?
Well, there are a couple of sushi places, but it's probably, I would say, like good like Cajun food around here is hard to find.
You're in South Dakota,
tough.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
It's just tough to find here.
There
are certain places that do certain things right.
Right. But Cajun does not travel that far to the South. It should, because everyone I know that tries Cajun food, it's kind of like barbecue, right? People try it. They love it. I almost feel like the South has said, look, you can only open so many Cajun spots per city outside of here because that's part of the reason people come here. Right?
Sure. Now, if I'm not working on the weekends or holidays, dinner's a lot different. So I like to eat earlier on the weekends if I can. I mean, not that I won't stay out later, but it's just nice to eat that meal.
I generally do too. Weekend, I mean, by like 5:30, you sit down, you have a meal. You know, during the work week, it's just not happening.
I think that, and not that
Sunday's easily the earliest dinner, I think.
For sure. Because a lot of times you're kind of parked on the couch. You know you should eat, but it's like that 4:30 time, and you're like, well, it's too late for lunch. I'll just call it early dinner, in spite of the fact that I do this every Sunday.
My grandmother used to make it a point. I did yesterday. Stepfather's mom and family were Italian. You go to Mass on Sunday, you come home, Sunday dinner, normally is at 2?
Yeah, why?
2:30, pasta, salad, bread, every single Sunday.
It's like Olive Garden.
Meatballs. And it's normally 1 hour to an hour and a half after you get back from Mass.
I mean, we ate a little bit earlier on Sundays, but it wasn't that early. I feel like only holidays would we eat dinner at like 2 or 3.
Why is Thanksgiving?
I was going to say this is the one
for
that
whatever
drives
reason.
me nuts.
You know, everybody, because most of us, whatever time you eat dinner, it's within like a 2-hour range, right? 7 o'clock's toward the end of that, maybe 5:30 is the early part. But Thanksgiving, all this cooking, days of preparation, it's an ton of food. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon, like, let's have dinner. Like, technically, this is lunch.
I like when people invite you over for Thanksgiving. Obviously, that's a really kind gesture. Then you find out that dinner there starts at 7:30. And you're like, hey, man, normally I'm on like third meal.
Right.
By that point in time, I've already had a turkey sandwich. Now I'm going back for thirds.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy, I've been going to him and his wife's the last few years, and I kind of like the fact that we don't eat till like 5 or 6. It's like a normal time.
5 or 6 is fine.
It stretches
Anything
it out.
after that.
I have found, and we think this is a good go-to, especially because so many people we know have little kids now. Like, look, do whatever you do on Thanksgiving. Kind of keep it minimal. And then after Thanksgiving dinner, but keep in mind that anywhere from 4 o'clock on, then we get together.
Yeah.
You don't have everyone to eat. Bring your desserts. Everyone has drinks. We've cleaned up for the most part so you can just drink, have a good time, and take advantage of the fact that tomorrow's a Friday, you're off, right?
Right, and I think Sundays and holidays you eat earlier, frankly, just because you can. Right, like generally, I don't care who you are, right? Like you probably work during the week, so whatever you're going to eat dinner is kind of dependent on that. Then on Saturdays, I feel like whether
you're getting stuff done,
right? Like if you're working on the house, you're doing it on Saturday. If say you're me, you want to go out, hang out with the boys and watch sports. Like more than likely, it's Saturday,
right? A lot of times you'll do Sunday mornings with friends because that could be brunch, but it's still sports involved. Or you do like Saturday, but even if you watch a Saturday afternoon game, somehow the spirit of the sports-themed dinner lasts through the rest of the night.
Right.
It
Whereas like Sunday,
you're going down until midnight.
Like Sunday, you're sitting around, maybe you've done whatever you're doing, and you're like, screw it, it's 4, I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's eat.
Here's what they say. They say you can add years to your life and lose many, many pounds by only eating during the daylight hours, no matter what they are.
All right.
So there might be a method to the madness.
Depends where you live. I mean,
in Alaska.
In the winter time in Seattle, right? The sun's down at 4:50. This time of the year, great, man.
I think they're talking about for the rest of the United States.
So somewhere like L.A.
We're pretty north here in the continental. But the new study found that you might be able to add years to your life by only eating during daylight hours. The researchers say that the longevity of mice increased by 35% of their life when they ate within their body clock's daily rhythms. You know mice are nocturnal. That's why you typically do not see them during the day. Mice only eat during that 7 to 8 hour window when things are dark.
All right.
But they're busy. So they say just eat during your busy hours. The idea is eat during active hours, even if the periods are only 2 to 3 hours apart. You eat a little bit less. You just kind of graze. But they say, if you get up super early at 5 a.m. to read the newspaper and head to bed after Jeopardy, chances are that you could add years to your life. And there are 2 other benefits. You're probably eating smaller meals if you're moving them closer together, and there's no intermittent fasting angle if you're not eating for a longer period overnight. So if you can, try that, and you'll maybe add years to your life. Add years.
I don't think that's new information. It's just tough. It's just tough.
It is. Right? 'Cause we have a whole lifestyle that we kind of develop around, well, I'm going to smoke some weed, not going to eat this, bowl of ice cream, bowl of cereal.
Plus, it's just weird in the States. We're just kind of conditioned to, have the biggest meal at dinner. As opposed to, Spain or somewhere where, the biggest meal is, lunch. And then you'll eat something later in the evening. But it's
But that's more of a graze, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're not kidding. In Europe, man, when you sit down for lunch, right, in the States, we'll have lunch, and then chances are we have plans. I'm pretty sure in Europe, we have no plans after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to have lunch, and we're going to sit there for 2 hours. It's 9 freaking courses long or whatever. And then go to sleep for a while.
Yes.
Idiot.
Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Jess, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. All right, Jess, let's go with this one. What do you want to do when you retire? What are your plans? Do you have anything that you would really like to do? Maybe travel?
That's absolutely something that I'm working towards, and one of my dreams when I retire. I would like to build a lighthouse. I'm a carpenter, and I would like to build a lighthouse. I would like to get a little spot out on the West Coast here, out by maybe Mo Cliffs or Ocean Shores, somewhere around there, and build a lighthouse and just spend my days fishing and crabbing and smelling the salt water.
That is the average American dream right there. Build a lighthouse. Let me ask you this, though. If you build a lighthouse, like, I would assume you have to get some kind of license for that. Like, you can't just build a lighthouse on the coast of some island, right?
Well, I mean, I've actually done some research about it. There's actually a lightkeepers union, and it's kind of a dying union, I guess, if you will. I guess I could build a lighthouse, but it wouldn't be like commissioned as an actual lighthouse. But I just always thought they were beautiful. And the existing lighthouses, there are occasionally, not here in Washington per se, but there are some that are up for auction and things of that nature. And so, if I had the ability to get it into commission, but they don't do like Fresnel lenses anymore. Everything's all GPS.
Right. How tall
of it used to be.
How tall of a lighthouse, ideally, within reason, would you want to build?
Are you guys familiar with the lighthouse in Westport?
I am not.
No.
I want to say it's 236 stairs to the top, and it's absolutely beautiful. And if you were to make it a livable lighthouse, there's always it's kind of like a mother-in-law suite that's off to the side, and that's where the lightkeeper will live while they're maintaining the lighthouse. So I would have like a little mother-in-law thing, but then the lighthouse would be kind of it wouldn't be a traditional lighthouse on the inside. I just want it to look like one on the outside.
Okay. You can buy a lighthouse.
All right.
There's one just on a concrete platform in the middle of looks like Lake Michigan, $15,000. Granted, you are.
That's where I was born. Well, not in the lake, but I was born in Traverse City.
There's one in New York for $1.5 million. It just depends. There's another one in.
I should pick one up.
Squaw Island for $1.5 million.
That's a terrible name.
They do have them for sale. If you want to get a lighthouse, you can do it.
So you insist on building your own, but would you buy a lighthouse?
If I had the money when I retire, I would definitely explore that option when I get closer to that time. But I got a ways to go yet.
But what about like the one Miles brought up? It's back in your birthplace up there in Michigan. It's $15,000, right? You could probably swing that. The only problem is nothing against Michigan, but the weather can kiss my ass. Like in the wintertime, you're just stuck there.
Like, I can say a lot of bad things about Michigan, but I'll hold that for another time. I would, if I had the opportunity, I would certainly, for $15,000. Yeah, that's a steal.
Let me ask you this, Jess, because I don't know. I know sometimes the light just spins around. I've seen that before. Does the light, if you're operating it to communicate with a vessel, is that a Morse system like ... dash?
Oh, right.
Does the light communicate, or do you know?
I'm not really too privy to the facts on that, but what I do know is that, before GPS and phones and when people navigated by the stars, my understanding is that lighthouses were a beacon, and so sailors that maybe were, off astray or whatnot, they could always see that light and just know they were close to land.
Right.
Or at least they were somewhere close to safety.
Okay. That's interesting.
That is not what I expected to hear at retirement.
No.
I that is as far away from a retirement plan is what I personally would like to do, but I like the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, lighthouse keeping the fishes.
Here's something very interesting. As we've heard how some folks took an early retirement to avoid risking their lives during the pandemic, now those people are flocking to where? Which would be the last place you would want to go if you wanted to avoid COVID. That would be cruise ships.
Well, yeah, it's almost a better deal.
Not for a vacation, but to live there at sea, almost permanently. There's a trend of people making cruise ships their retirement homes by stringing together back-to-back voyages and long ones, like the elaborate world cruises or grand cruises, which can last well over 100 days. Here's the point they're trying to make. When you are in a senior living care facility, sometimes the cost of those can be over $200 and some a day.
Yeah, that's an average is like $4,000 a week or something like that.
Especially if you're older and you need care, it is super expensive.
Yeah.
Well, cruises offer older Americans an easy, all-inclusive living environment, organized events, community or like-minded travelers, decent level of medical care. Not only that, you get food, you get drinks,
Yeah.
you get a pool, you get maid service.
You just buy the package.
Yeah. If you hop from cruise to cruise, you can rack up discounts and get the prices below $100 a day. And most cruises have reliable internet these days, too. You don't have to pay for your television.
Nope.
You do not have to pay for your internet. And they can pull this off even in semi-retirement, so to speak. That said, there's another trend. Some of those early retirees are now unretiring. There are several factors, including rising inflation, decreasing COVID-19 concerns, and a thriving job market. But there are a number of people who will spend 9 months out of 12 just cruising around the world because it's cheaper than them living the senior living lifestyle.
I met many of those people. Not even many, just more than I would have thought, because I did not think any. Well, we went on the cruise a couple of years ago, and a lot of it's from England, the U.S., but they were like, look, man, because they're older, they're real nice, they're always in a good mood, they're happy to see you, they meet people all the time, but I'm talking to the one couple, and how long are you on the cruise? I'm like, well, we got 1 week, man, so I'm trying to see as much as I can see. How long are you guys on the cruise? And they looked at each other, and they're like, well, we've been on this one for the last 8 weeks. I'm like, how does that, because it only stops at these certain ports of call, and they go, yeah, but we're not from any of these places, so if we stop in this place, we know 3 or 4 restaurants we love going to, and now they know we're coming in probably once a week. We get treated like gold. Then we hop on and end up in Barcelona, and we got 2 or 3, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. And they said, look,
You keep all your stuff in one room.
we have waterfront property. They have a bigger suite, right? We just had a cabin, but they got a bigger suite. Like, we have a balcony, and they're like, every night, we're still married, and we're saying, oh, we love you after 60 years, and we're looking at the Mediterranean. So, I mean, the more they said this, I'm like, God damn, you're right. And then they pointed out, just like you said, it's a little more expensive to buy stuff on the cruise ship itself, but because this particular one stops every day, they're like, man, if we need to go to the pharmacy, we know the pharmacies, we need to get our medication, all this stuff, man. I'm like, God damn, I'm jealous, man.
Just make sure you get that drink package every time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, that turned out to be very, very important.
If you stopped in Italy, could you bring could you buy wine in Italy and bring it on the boat?
They let you bring stuff like that. There was, it's not so much that, but at each port of call, there's a, what do you call it, duty free.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
So, just like at the airport, they want to see you physically buy it so they know what you're getting. But whatever you saw, like when you're in Sicily, right? When you get back to the boat, like all of that stuff is set up for you by the time you come back.
Nice.
So you can buy food, you can buy the wine, any of that stuff, yeah.
More of the random question on the way, 206-421-ROCK.
9.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
After 2 years, Pay to the Grass is back. BJ and Miggs have all the details tomorrow morning at 9:15. Tune in at 9:15 to get all the good stuff. We're going to go back and still celebrate 50 years of KISW.
Yeah, we're going to get back to that.
Yeah, exactly. Pandemic schmamdemic. Going to be a party again. Pain in the Grass.
Yeah.
They'll have all the different ticket packages and all that. So listen to BJ and Miggs because we'll have all the details on that tomorrow morning. And then you'll hear us talk about it all afternoon because then we'll get the details.
That is correct.
Exactly when it is and what's going on and who's actually playing this little shindig. In the meantime, it is our random question, 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola.
Hola. Justin, welcome to the program. And the random question. All right, this is a dark question.
Oh, jeez.
Where are you pretty sure there are bodies other than a cemetery? If you're a betting man.
Okay, let me think about this. I grew up in Black Diamond. There's a lot of creeps out there, so let me think about this.
I would say anywhere. Did you ever have any neighbors or like somebody you went to high school with, like, man, there's no way this guy is not going to kill people?
I'm having a hard time.
Good.
Someone.
This should be a tough question. Yeah. Because if you got a quick answer, that means we should go dig that
I've
up.
got some pretty good ideas where I believe there's bodies for sure.
I mean,
based on the number of missing people in the area.
Don't say the tar, whatever it is, New Jersey,
Well, the Pine Barrens have always been known for that.
But the mob, I mean, they hid, that's where they dumped all the bodies.
They pretty much would even tell you, like, go find them.
And I think it was the documentary I saw called Murder Mountain about the weed industry in Northern California.
Correct.
Before that became legalized, and even so, within that, there's more missing.
I think
persons.
I got one.
All right, what do you think?
So I'd say that area for sure.
This place out in Ravensdale,
is right off the main road off. It was kind of by the power lines out in Ravensdale, and there was this guy. His nickname was just Toyota Bob, but he had stolen cars, stolen quads, dirt bikes, all that stuff, all back there. And I ran into him one time, and it was just the way he asked me about what I was doing in the woods in my truck. It just stood the hairs on the back of my neck.
Yeah, I got you. Well, what are you doing out here then, buddy?
Yeah. Anyone know you're here?
Apparently, he was the keeper of the woods out back there, so I was
in an unofficial capacity, I'm guessing.
Right.
Yeah, that tells me killer.
Coal barges were another big one in Appalachia. That was always one that you heard about. Yeah, these barges are huge. You might have even seen them out on the Sound, whether they're carrying gravel or sand or dirt, moving things to different areas. If people are building homes, typically they're being pushed a pretty long way. They have a very substantial load on them. But very rarely are they taken out of the water for servicing.
Right.
So there are coal barges in West Virginia and Pennsylvania that go up and down the Allegheny, the Monongahela, and the Ohio rivers. And you would hear stories that some of these people would be underneath those. They would be
chained to the bottom.
And then by the time they get drug up and down the river for 6 months, their bodies slowly been placed hundreds of miles.
I mean, it's genius.
Spread across the...
And Ted, help me out on this. In Baltimore, where was in the city specifically, people weren't digging graves and all that. In Baltimore, where most of the crime goes down, there's a lot of abandoned houses. But they didn't just leave your body in an abandoned house to be found, because all the drug dealers, you want to keep the cops as far away from you. So you got all kinds of lime, and they put you in the walls.
They put you in the basement, too.
Yeah, I mean, the wall, and seriously, so when they would do a lot of them, gosh, it's so bad, but because you knew it was coming and people were desensitized, but, well, this part of Baltimore, they're taking down all these vacant properties and they're going to rebuild whatever. And they found like 12 bodies. You know what I mean? Just different houses, and it's just lime. And I'm telling you, like, Home Depot probably sells more lime in Baltimore City per capita.
I would say Rock Creek Park in D.C.
Oh, God, yeah.
And they're not liming
I feel like
baseball field.
Rock Creek Park, there's a lot of my belief is there's a lot of bodies there, but my other belief is, like, that's where, like, people in Congress get rid of people. Right? That seems to be like that's the white-collar, high-dollar make someone disappear spot.
Yeah. There's been a few places. Like in Ocean City, Maryland, there's this famous hotel called the Carousel.
All right.
And it's like massive. It's got like an ice skating rink in it and stuff. So when you're a kid in the summertime, like staying there, we never stayed there, but it was like, it must be unbelievable. But as I got older, if you drank with any of the locals, the story was always that the mob had built it and they would dump the bodies out in the ocean.
Makes sense.
Well, and here, it's not even criminal. Let's go to Rainier. How many bodies are in a crevasse?
Sitting there, right?
From people who are just, outdoors people who have been caught in avalanches, people who have been, swept away by Mother Nature. The reason we asked, where are you pretty sure there are bodies? National Park Service rangers responded to a call on Saturday afternoon that reported the remains in Calville Bay of another human body. Now, this is at the Lake Mead Reservoir, which is outside of Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
This is the second set of human remains found there. The country's largest reservoir. Water levels there are plunging. Now, the first body was discovered on May 1st, was likely a murder victim who died from a gunshot wound. Sometime, they believe, in the mid-70s to early 80s, based on the clothing and footwear the victim was found with. Do you know where in the brand of the clothing that the victim was wearing where they determined this?
No.
Kmart.
Okay.
I mean, Kmart's haven't been around in years.
Yes. They say the lake has drained dramatically over the last 15 years. It's getting to the point where they're finding more bodies that have been dumped into Lake Mead as the water level drops. Around 40 million people in the West rely on water from the Colorado River and its two largest reservoirs, including Lake Mead and Lake Powell. And the levels there of water have fallen to an alarming rate over the past few years. And then we have one more unfortunate story to bring you. First person to try climbing North America's tallest summit this season has lost his life in the attempt. Rangers at Denali National Park in Alaska say they spotted the body of 35-year-old Austrian climber Matthias Rimmel, who had set out for a solo attempt on the 20,000-foot mountain. Rimmel likely fell on a steep traverse between Denali Pass at 18,000 feet and a 17,000-foot plateau, notorious stretch of the West Buttress route. Saying the National Park Service in a statement, Authorities began searching when friends reported they had not heard from him. He was providing regular updates of his progress, but he was spotted in an aerial search. So Rangers have not been able to get to him yet.
Yeah, I mean,
he was just spotted by either a plane or a helicopter. And he was an experienced climber, professional mountain guide in his native Austria.
What did you read? What was it, Mandy Moore? Last week, 2 weeks ago? So I did not know this about Mandy Moore, but apparently she is one of those people that she likes to mountain climb, right? And she has summited some significant mountains, but she was talking about Mount Everest. And she just went to base camp there. She's like, look, I'm not trying to go to the top, maybe in the future, not now. But one of the things she did while she was there, it wasn't like flowers, but like she paid homage to all the people that had died on the mountain. Mm-hmm. Not everyone who's died on the mountain, but everyone whose bodies are found. So she's like, we go to base camp, we went a couple of feet away. And she's like, it's just bodies everywhere.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of areas up there where they have basically just areas where you can go and pray, and they have prayer flags and everything else. The thing about Everest Base Camp, to give you an idea, where this guy fell, he was at 17,000 feet. Now that's on.
He started at 18, ended up at 17.
Yeah, this is Denali, which is the largest mountain in North America. At Everest Base Camp, that's where the base camp starts.
Right,
it's 17,000 feet.
Jesus,
that is crazy.
So you start. So where she hiked to was 17,000 feet. Then she stopped and came back,
which is fair.
But that's just to give you an idea how high that damn thing is when you get up there, man. So you have to acclimate just to be able to get to base camp. So I'm sure there's a lot of waiting around at different camps just so your body gets used to that. Even if you go up Rainier, it takes time to get your body acclimated to the altitude that you're at.
Sure,
at 10,000 feet, it'll wipe you out. You'll be sitting in a little hut there for
So people don't naturally live there
a day. Just,
right. You know what I mean? That's just
feeling like ass. I know when I got to Muir, I was like, I'm spent. I'm toast.
Why is it that Sherpas never get as much credit? Right? So you'll say so-and-so summited the mountain. Not that I'm not impressed. It's not that. But I'm like, but the guy carrying all of your crap did too.
Also, he smokes a pack of cigarettes.
Right, I'm just saying, like,
the whole way up.
That's impressive. I mean, not that you did it once. That's impressive. But the fact that the Sherpa's like, no, I make a living carrying your crap to go to the top of the mountain so that you can brag.
That's crazy.
The Sherpas, they don't get the credit. They don't get the correct pay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, dude. I'm just like, wait, you do this all the time. This guy did it once, and he made international news.
Yeah.
And they have to be like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
Tanner, welcome to the program. Random question. Tanner, let's go with this one. Straight up. Not that you have one now, but do you enjoy doing yard work from time to time?
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm about ready to go start right now. I got to mow my grass.
Okay, how much property do you have?
Oh, thank God, it's only like a quarter acre and flat.
And is it a push mower or a riding mower? Push mower, I'm assuming, correct?
Yep, push mower, yeah, and just manual one too, not a self-propelled, sadly.
Do you weed eat?
Yep.
Do you edge?
Yep.
Okay. Do you plant flowers?
Pressure wash, everything.
All right.
Flowers? Yeah, I just planted a bunch of flowers and some rhododendrons. Yeah, looks great.
How many hours do you put in per week, would you say, with the yard?
I'd say probably about per week, 7 hours maybe, Just an hour every day after work.
That's a lot. Are you married?
No.
Okay, this is...
That's actually amazing.
It is, because a lot of people just like to get outside to get away from their significant other, who's probably inside doing something different. Like, you share chores.
Yep, well, yeah, that's the thing. I got some dishes I need to do.
All right.
That's the big thing.
Do you put down Scots? Do you do any kind of weed killer?
Weed and feed.
You do? So you really do care and take care of your yard?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I
think it gives you great satisfaction doing it.
It does, and I find, but it's different. As a kid, I hated it because I was at the mercy of someone else.
That is correct.
You were told
not your home.
What, right. Inevitably, I don't get full say in what happens at the house, which is just a condition of being a kid, but I'm out there doing whatever it is I've been told to do, and I do find that when summer hits here in Seattle, man, like, we are out in the yard Saturday and Sunday almost all day just because of the poor decisions we made about what to plant and where, because it ends up being a lot more maintenance, but aside from the satisfaction, I find it is a great place to clear my mind. So it's one of those deals where I don't know if I enjoy what I'm doing specifically, but you let your mind go to where it needs to go, and it's not so bad.
And depending on how your parents kind of governed you, it was drilled into my head that I'm just a tenant of this place. I don't own it. I don't do it. Basically, I am only there to help take care of this place.
If you're going to live here, sure.
Yeah, if you say this is the home you grew up in, that's the home I grew up in. But when I was living there, you don't pay for any of this food, you don't pay for it, so you have to do all this other stuff to justify living in this home.
I don't know that I've done lawn work without being paid or being a kid. I never lived in a place as an adult that had
a house. You rented a house that had a yard.
How do you think you'd be, though, if you end up with a house, you got a yard, maybe just his size, so it's not this big, massive thing, but you got a quarter acre. I get the feeling you'd be all over.
Yeah, I was going to say, I never minded as a kid and stuff.
Okay.
So.
See, it was always forced on me.
That's what I mean. When it's forced on you, I have no interest in doing it because you've told me. But,
But also, I was one of those kids, if it was the choice between mowing the lawn or raking up leaves or, cleaning my room, I'd rather sit outside for 2 hours and do that.
Agreed. 100%.
Raking leaves was the one that just broke my back.
I still hate raking.
I don't mind cutting grass. I don't mind using the and it was always, it was always electric crap. Mm-hmm. My stepfather always we had electric mowers, which kind of dangerous. You can run over that extension cord pretty quickly. Electric weed eaters, all those things.
That's what we have now because we don't have enough grass to justify it. Right. But I do think about the cord very often. The nice thing they've done now, I think maybe we have Ryobi, whatever. But the batteries are interchangeable, right? Yeah. That goes a real long way. But we don't have a lot of grass. We have
That's what my lawnmower
goddamn plants. And looking back, we both agreed it'd be a lot easier if we had more grass.
Yeah.
But we dug up all this stuff, planted all this stuff. Doesn't that look wonderful? And then every spring we're like, God damn, we got a lot of work because we mowed the lawn.
What were we thinking?
Exactly. You don't know. But you mow the lawn in 5 minutes and then the rest of the hours that you were outside is everything else.
Reese, we asked you, do you enjoy doing a little yard
right, because sorry, Miles, but you're right. I've been at friends' houses where they've bitched about mowing the lawn. I was like, I'll go mow for you, dude.
It's fine.
I don't care.
Mowing the lawn to me is like loading the dishwasher. All you have to do is operate this thing. It's not like you got a pair of scissors. I mean, push the goddamn lawnmower. It does all the work.
Yeah. On the reason we asked you enjoy doing yard work, this would be like a thief getting under your car to steal your catalytic converter, then changing your oil while they're there. A man in Port Arthur, Texas, east of Houston, he snuck onto a property last month and stole their push mower.
Okay.
But he took it for a spin first. In security footage, you can see the thief fill the mower with gas, start mowing the backyard. Then he moves and mows the front yard. He left with the mower. But the police caught up with him. He abandoned the mower in an alley. And then he got away. The cops are still looking for the guy. It is unclear why he mowed their lawn. Maybe he had OCD and couldn't leave without tidying up the yard. It is worth pointing out that it was April 1st, although there's no indication this was some kind of prank. To be clear, he was not hired by the homeowner, and it was dark. It was the middle of the night when he stole the mower and began cutting the grass. It is the most bizarre thing you've seen.
I mean, I'd be upset that someone stole something of mine, but if they mowed the lawn before they left, I'm like, all right.
Brandon,
all right.
It doesn't seem that bad.
It's better than not doing that, but it's still don't have a lawnmower.
You don't, but if someone broke in my house and stole my TV, they go, but we fixed your washing machine.
When I lived in Baltimore, when it was cold out, I could tell that crackheads had been in my car and smoking crack because it was cold.
But they didn't take anything.
Right, they didn't tear up my car. And I mean, you could see they looked for change.
Of course.
I just started leaving it unlocked, and it was fine.
Hey, man, we got a crack house down the street. You're cool, man. Just be gone before I have to go to work.
If you'd have locked it, they'd have broken all the windows and taken nothing because there's still nothing in there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's like people that have Jeeps. Like my brother had a Jeep, and people would always end up cutting the soft top.
Yeah, and
that's like there's no point. Just leave the doors open.
That's what my father did. Yeah. Leave it open. Don't have anything in the car.
I'll get just random question.
Hello, Devin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Devin, welcome to the show.
Raccoon guy. It's the raccoon trapper.
The raccoon trapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I know. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
We're doing great, man. Thanks.
Good.
Let's go with this one. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys always just make my day better. It's great.
Well, yeah, nice. We really appreciate you listening.
And we always target raccoon trappers. Mm-hmm. That is what we said that the day we got. If you can't make a raccoon trapper happy, we have no business being on.
You get out of the business.
Right. You have to get some bigger traps, man. Those things are getting fat.
I'll bring my mountain lion traps out.
You might need them, especially the ones in the city.
I had a friend text me last night. She saw a mountain lion by her house.
Where does she live?
Or a bobcat.
Where does she live?
Across the water.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's because they can't.
Queen Anne.
They don't want to. All right, let's go with this one. Even if it's a guy or a girl, who would you say is the biggest flirt that you know? Who is the biggest flirt you know? Could have been a coworker. Could have been a friend.
Could be your own parents.
Yeah. Who flirts?
Unfortunately, I worked with this. Well, it was kind of nice. I shouldn't say unfortunately, but I worked with a lady at a pawn shop for a while, and it was basically the owner, and then her below him, and then I was just kind of like just a little bitchola, basically. And yeah, she was by far, I think, the biggest flirt of anybody I've ever been around.
What was it? Was it a welcome flirt or a disgusting one?
It was kind of depending how much she was drinking.
All right.
Okay.
Well, was it flirting with you, or was it flirting with customers? Anybody who walked in that she found attractive, or did she just kind of like you?
She liked me.
All right.
She liked me a lot. She invited me over to a barbecue at her place like the first day I was there.
Oh, man. Did her husband have a clue?
She wasn't married.
All right. Well, hey, game on.
And how long did you work with her?
I was there for 2 years, actually. Yeah.
And were you ever propositioned?
Yeah.
And did you ever take her up on that?
Nah. I mean, I went over there and I did the barbecue thing a couple times, but I guess maybe she had about 20 years on me, so maybe I was just naive at the time or what. But yeah, once the barbecue went down and she had a couple other friends over, I realized probably not the place.
Okay. All right.
There's nothing wrong with somebody finding you to be attractive. It
depends how they choose to go about it.
Correct, but still.
That's a tough question, too. Because I have a couple friends that, are very friendly. I don't know if I'd say they're always flirting, but it comes off that way.
But see, a lot of people flirt, but they have no interest in you sexually. It's just how they have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're very flirty people, but trust me, they're not even hitting on you. This is just the way they roll.
Reason we asked who is the biggest flirt you know. Researchers showed 1,000 college students a list of 40 different ways to flirt and asked which ones they think are most effective.
I can't even think of 40 ways to flirt.
It depends on two things.
All right.
What are you looking for? And are you flirting with a man or a woman? So if you're trying to attract a woman, the best thing that you can do, what is the best thing that you can do?
You are asking the wrong group of people.
Mm-hmm. Flash some cash.
If you are going to be successful,
buy him a drink.
If you're going to be successful,
wait until last call, see who's still there.
The number one thing, you don't need to be good looking. You don't need to be well dressed. You do not have to have the best profession or the greatest cars or any of that. You need to make her laugh. Women ranked at number one,
real.
Whether the person hitting on them is looking for something serious or just a one-night stand.
Why do you think I'm sending them unsolicited D-pics, Ted? They need to laugh.
The problem with these studies is that it's easy to say that, but most people, if you ask them, they're not just going to be like, oh, I want a hunk. Or they're not going to be like with women, you'd be like, well, I hope she has a good personality. Sure. This and that. It's like, well, why don't you hit on those kind of women? Because they're ugly. Sorry. I make a lot of chicks laugh. That ain't number one.
Humor is also the way to go if you're trying to attract a serious boyfriend. Basically, women ranked at number one whether the person hitting on them is looking for something serious
agree with that?
or a one-night stand.
She makes me laugh.
I thought my wife hated me for the first 6 months that we dated. She just kept saying yes if I called her, man. But she wasn't making me laugh. I never made her laugh. She would just stare me down.
They say, though, if you just want a fling, the best strategy is to be up front and say, I want to make the sexy beast with you. Here are the top 3 flirting techniques.
Tell you what, you funny as hell.
For men and women, depending on what you're looking for.
Trying to get down on this.
You made me laugh. You must want some.
Right? I like to laugh.
If you're looking for a girlfriend, they say this. Number 1, Ted, make her laugh.
Okay.
Number 2, spend time with her. Actually, act like you're interested in what she says. If you want to
How
hook
do we
up,
not all have an Academy Award for that?
If you want to just hook up, number 1, again, make her laugh.
Okay.
Smile a lot and be upfront about it. Now, if you want a boyfriend,
I want to get some of that ass.
Believe it or not,
I want to be your friend for 12 hours.
Well, men say this: if you want a boyfriend, ladies, make him laugh. Number 1 again.
Okay.
Be interested in what he says. Good luck with that.
I don't care.
Spend time with him, or if you just want a full round, tell him that you want to kiss him and run your naked body up against his.
There you go.
Done.
That works.
Rub it or rub it.
Rub it.
Either way, I'm in.
Walk up to a guy, ladies, and just say, "I want to rub you." 100%.
Baby, I want to rub you.
Come on. Get some rub time.
Programming note, after 2 long years, Pain in the Grass is back. Listen tomorrow morning at 9:15. BJ and Miggs have all the details. Woo! You are listening to The Men's Room.